Drive to right, well socked, that ball is going, that ball is gone. It's a brand new ball game, a 2-run home run for George Valera. In the air to right field, hit pretty high, hit pretty deep, that ball is gone! Ryan Lavacina with a walk-off home run. Naylor lines it to right, that wins the championship for the Rubber Ducks. Bo Naylor, the walk-off hit, and Akron takes it home in 2021. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Future Guardians of the Land podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Sledge. With me this week, I have Cleveland Guardians pitching prospect Thomas Ponticelli. How you doing?
Great, Kevin. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Appreciate you joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. So how's the off season going so far?
Off season's going great. It's nice to be back home in Arizona, just catching up on some family time. Obviously, training a good bit of my time, so it's going well.
That's good. Good to hear. Any idea where you're going to end up this year?
I have no clue. Really not sure where I'm going to be this year.
I know you pitched at Akron last year, and actually my daughter's first Rubber Ducks game I took her to last year, you pitched. So.
Oh, really?
I had to tell her tonight. Awesome. I said, I'm having the picture on from the game we went to. So.
How did I do? Did we win?
Yeah, well, I think we won, but I don't think it was one of your best outings, honestly. But
okay.
Unfortunately,
yeah,
you didn't show up in front of me, but that's all right. Maybe next time.
next time.
Next time for sure. All right, so you went to Newberry Park High School in Newberry Park, California. Won a Division I championship as a freshman. Pitcher of the year as a junior. First team All League. How was the high school experience, and what moments kind of stuck out to you? I'm sure the championship, obviously, but is there anything else that really stuck out about your high school career that you remember?
I mean, high school is a great time. I think it's a time where I really learned a lot and I blossomed. I took a more pitching only role, became full-time PO. But obviously, yeah, that championship stuck out. That was my freshman year. I was surrounded by a lot of talent, a lot of Division I players. Former Guardians teammate Luke Eubank was on that team. It was amazing to watch him pitch that whole year. He had like 3 no-hitters that year. So,
nice.
Yeah, it was a really fun team to be a part of. Other moments, I think my junior year is really where I started to, really dial it in on the pitching and start putting everything together. So that was a really fun year. Yeah.
So at what point did you think you had a shot at maybe playing pro ball? Was it at some point in high school?
Yeah, I mean, it was always a dream. It was always a dream for me to go in and play professional baseball. I'm glad I got that opportunity. I think I realized I had the potential in high school, but I think more so in college when I really started like, okay, this could be, an actual real deal,
Right. So speaking of college, you ended up at the University of San Francisco. How did that come about? Were you recruited by some other schools, or how'd you end up at San Francisco?
Yeah. Actually, I guess I have kind of a strange recruiting story. I was getting recruited by some other schools. I was committed to the University of Oregon right after like my junior year summer. Junior year summer. I was committed there. I committed there after I took a couple visits, fell in love with the place. At the end of the day, it kind of just like, it didn't really work out. USF kind of came on the scene. I was playing summer ball with one of my best friends. And I was kind of like, well, dang, I don't know what to do right now. I decommitted from Oregon, and then I ended up having a buddy who was going to USF, and he's like, well, I can get you in contact with coaches. And so that happened after summer ball. I went and took a visit. It was like 2 weeks before school was about to start. And I got a couple offers back from some other schools that had been recruiting me, but I kind of just fell in love with USF. I love their coaching staff, Coach Giartano, Coach Knox there, my pitching coach, Matt Heiserman. It really helped me grow as a player. I love the city. It was a great time. I made some lifelong friends there as well.
Yeah, I see you have the your ninth in school history with 187 strikeouts, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. You're pulling up stats I don't even know, but
I did a little research.
Yeah.
So you mentioned summer ball. You played 2 years in 2016 and 2017 in the Cape Cod League. How was that whole experience for your development?
It was probably one of the best baseball experiences I've ever had. That was honestly another reason why I went to USF, is because they kind of presented that before me, when I was going to commit there. They're like, hey, we can send you to the Cape Cod League. And I was like, okay, yes, I know I'm going to have some opportunities to pitch here and pursue my career. But Cape Cod experience was great. I think honestly it was just being surrounded by so many knowledgeable players and so much talent, and being able to just not only compete against top level prospects, but like pick their brains was crucial. And then kind of coming back into like a regular college season, it's like, okay, this is pretty great that I already had, was able to pitch against some of the top talent in the country. And then coming back in the conference, it kind of made it a little easier, gave me a big confidence booster. And I also got a little taste out of the bullpen. I think majority of my innings there were out of the bullpen, which was a new experience for me. I'd always been a starter in my career, even that first year in college. So it gave me a little sneak peek into the bullpen life.
So any preference there, starting or bullpen?
I love them both. At this point in my career, I think whatever it's going to take for me to, get to the big leagues and help the big league team, I think that's my focus. In my career, since I've been drafted, I've started and relieved. Last season, I kind of did both. I started out of the pen, got an opportunity to start, did pretty well, and then kind of earned that spot. Later on in the year, I kind of came back into the bullpen, and I kind of just bounced around. So I think in this day and age in baseball, I think as far as pitching and even position players, being kind of utility and being able to be flexible around positions, or whether it be coming out of the bullpen or being a starter, is kind of crucial in this day and age. I think teams really like that, like flexibility and someone who can just show up and do their job.
Definitely. You're seeing some of the guys at the upper levels with the Guardians kind of trying out some new positions to maybe give them a better path to the big league. So I agree with that.
Absolutely.
So you were drafted by Cleveland in the 12th round of 2018 draft. How was the whole draft process? What were you doing draft night? I know a couple of the other guys I talked about how stressful and hectic it was, and they were just happy to relieve when it was over with. But how was your experience with the draft?
Yeah. I mean, obviously being drafted was my dream, and it was one. Now I look back and it's one small step in the bigger picture, in the bigger dream. But the draft process itself, it was pretty stressful. I was told day 2. I got a lot of texts after day 1 saying, "Are you ready to go tomorrow?" And then I kind of slipped to that 3rd day, and at the time I was just like, wow, like, it's a lot to get caught up in, and it worked out for the best, and I'm very blessed to even have been chosen in the draft. But on the day, I was just hanging out with my family. They were actually both working on day 2. After I didn't get picked, they came home and we kind of like went out to dinner. I was a little, obviously kind of upset, but we went out to dinner and I had high hopes for the next day. And then I got a text from my agent saying, "You're going on off the board." And I was like, okay, awesome, let's do it. And I saw my name get called, and I think it was a Wednesday, and my family came home. They were home early from work, and we just hung out, celebrated, hung out with some friends later that night, and it was awesome.
That's cool. So did you talk to a lot of teams, and how aggressive was Cleveland with you coming into the draft?
I talked to 29 teams.
Wow.
So I sat down with 29 teams. I think I didn't know who was really on me. The only thing I look back now that I would say about Cleveland was they're the only ones that brought in a mental performance coach, and I had like a whole interview with them, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that was the only team that did that, so that was pretty unique. And obviously my area scout, Don Lyle, was a great guy. It was fun talking with him. But yeah, I honestly had no clue who was gonna take me. So
did you know much? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's just funny because it's like I feel like everybody, kind of like the whole process is crazy, and I feel like no one really ever knows until your name is called.
Yeah, I can see how stressful that would be for sure.
Yeah.
So did you know much about the city or the organization before you were drafted by Cleveland?
Honestly, not too much. Really, I've grew up in Los Angeles, and I pretty much stayed there my whole life. I didn't really know too much about Cleveland. Like I said, I had the former teammate, Luke Eubanks, so I kind of had that connection. My first year, first spring training, it was cool seeing a familiar face in that locker room, which is pretty cool. Also, Adam Simber was traded there, I believe, in 2018.
Right.
He was a former USF Don. Bradley Zimmer is obviously another connection from USF. So I did have some connections to the team itself, which was pretty cool. And I've talked to Bradley a little bit in the very beginning, and Adam Simber I was decently close with. So it was nice picking their brains a little bit.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
now we have Jake Miller, who's another Newbury Park High School alum, WCC guy, which is all awesome too.
There you go. So after you were drafted, you reported to Arizona and pitched in the Arizona League and made one start in Lake County. How was the whole experience first year professionally?
It's a lot of information. It's a lot of new information. I think I pitched a majority in the AZL. I think I had 26 innings there, 25 innings. And the competition was good. I thought it was a little lower than maybe college, but as far as the first season, like I think they leave you alone, but it's a lot of learning. It's a lot of doing a lot of things on your own. And then that first appearance in Lake County was awesome. It was like during the Tin Caps playoff push, the stadium was packed. I remember just stepping off the rubber a couple times because it was so loud in there, and that was really the first experience I got where I was like, okay, this is pretty real. Like, this is what it's going to be like, pitch in front of a packed crowd. I never really got that opportunity in college like that. So that was pretty cool. But the organization itself, it's a lot of information thrown at you, and kind of just learning how to separate things, applying things you need, getting familiar with everybody, coaches, staff, front office.
Nice. So 2019, you spent your full season at Lake County. Then
Yes.
2020 comes along and the pandemic hits and wipes out your season. I know there was a small group of guys that got to work out at the alternate site. How tough was it for you, and what did you do to kind of keep yourself in shape and keep working out?
Yeah. So, I mean, coming off 2019 season, probably one of the worst seasons I've had statistically, but I look back and it's probably one of the best seasons that I've ever had as far as learning and growing as a player and a pitcher. I then that 2019 off season I spent at the complex in Arizona, got some really good work in. And then 2020 hits, I come into spring training feeling ready to go. And then I think it was like March 7th or March, somewhere in there. It was just like, we're all gathered in the room and we're like, yeah, like we don't really know what's going on. So it was like, I felt like a lot of work that I put in, I felt kind of disappointed that obviously we were having a season. So I can showcase the work and see really how well I prepared myself. 2020 though, like during that whole pandemic and the off season, I think I really took advantage of it. I was working out, training at Push Performance in Arizona. A lot of guys are in there. They have a lot of knowledge in there, and I learned a whole lot there too. Cleaned up some mechanic stuff, got stronger, bigger. I also spent a lot of time with my family. I was actually getting married in 2020, and we did have our wedding, but it was really nice being able to be home with my fiance at the time, being able to kind of just plan the wedding with her and helping her out around the house. And we purchased a home. It was a lot at once,
Yeah.
A lot going on. So I think without that, we wouldn't have been able to do any of those things. So it was a very productive off season as far as training went. But it was nice to kind of spend some quality time with family.
Oh, and I'm sure it was nice for her to have you around too. Obviously, playing baseball,
Yeah.
you spend a lot of time away from your family, so that was good that you got some bonding time there.
It was.
Then comes 2021, which was a pretty memorable season. Obviously, you had a pretty good year, 7-5 with a 3.92 ERA for AA Akron, and of course, it ends with a AA Northeast championship. So how was that whole experience? I know you got the pitch in Game 3.
Yeah. I mean, the season was awesome. Just the group of guys we had it was such a core group of guys that, it just seemed different from the moment I stepped in the locker room. Everyone just was mature and wanted to win, and we all bonded really well. And at the very end, we pulled off the championship, and that wasn't even with the starting group of guys that were there. We lost a lot of players, and a lot of new faces came up, and it was kind of just cool to just see. It's kind of like a little foresight into the organization and the prospects we have, like to be able to keep that momentum rolling from the beginning of the season,
Right.
in a long season. So the year was great. I definitely learned a lot. I kind of learned how to be flexible in that flexible role as far as coming out of the pen, being a starter, pitching in some high leverage situations that I really, really enjoyed. But the season itself, it was just great. It was a lot of fun. It was probably some of the most fun baseball I've played, just because it was at such a pretty high level, and we were winning, and it was fun. It's fun to win,
Right. Well, like you said too, I mean, you lost some guys up to AAA like Oscar Gonzalez, who led the organization affiliates in home runs and RBIs, and Alex Call, Richie Palacios. But then you had guys like George Valera and Brian Labastida. I mean, it's just a testament to the talent in this organization.
Yeah, it's impressive. The organization is, they definitely know how to develop players. I can say that, and there's a lot of talent on the pitching side. A lot of guys that work hard on the pitching side. Same with the position players. I could think of 10 guys that I would have up the middle for me, in the infield.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with any one of them. It's pretty incredible. Even behind the plate, having Bo Naylor, who's an unbelievable defensive catcher, even thrown to Brian Lavasita, like watching him progress, is pretty special. And then with his bat as well, it's pretty cool to see.
You mentioned Bo Naylor. How cool was it? I know he kind of struggled offensively last season, but to get the walk-off hit to win the championship was pretty awesome for him.
Yeah, there's a couple at bat, like at the very last inning or two last innings, you have Will Brennan with an absolute moonshot.
Yeah.
That was like, everyone was hyped about that. It was super cool to see. And then, to watch Bo, it was like a down the line kind of line drive for sure double. And it was just surreal experience. I hadn't won any championship like that since high school. Got close to in summer ball, but it was awesome. It was so much fun, and we enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah, it was really cool that you got to experience that for sure. Mm-hmm. So what are your personal goals for 2022?
Personal goals, I would say my big goal is obviously I would love to debut, make my debut. I think it's an obtainable goal. I think I can really help out the big league team. That's the biggest goal. I know there's things in my game that obviously I would like to improve on. More strikeouts is one of those, generating more swing and misses, which leads to higher strikeout percentage, limiting more walks. But I just want to win at any level I'm at, compete, learn and grow, keep making lasting friendships.
You're definitely in the right organization for being a pitcher, because they've been called a pitching factory. Because of their development, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah, and the development's awesome. I think like I mentioned, 2019 was the roughest season I had, but the best, because I just learned so much. And I had a pitching coach, Owen Dew, who I was with in Lake County and then in Akron. And he has helped me so much just develop. And I think one day he's going to be a big league pitching coach, but he's done a ton for me, and he's helped a ton of other players as well.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So before we wrap it up, we have a little segment we do at the end called Getting to Know Your Guardian. I ask you 10 questions, non-baseball questions. Got some fun ones in there. So whenever you're ready, I'll fire them at you.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So if you had to play another sport professionally besides baseball, what would it be?
I don't know if I'm good at any other sports. I'd probably say football. I like football. Never played growing up, but always wanted to. My parents would never let me. So I'd say football.
Okay. So if you couldn't play professional sports, what occupation would you desire?
Well, I did. I graduated from USF with a business degree, focus in entrepreneurship. Um, I would really like to be in real estate or, my goal would be to generate as much passive income as possible in order to travel. I wouldn't want to sit behind a desk. I would like to just be able to get outdoors and help honestly, baseball, like maybe being a coach, helping younger athletes with achieve their goals. So kind of like, I don't know, kind of a whole mix of things.
Okay.
You know,
Gotcha. What's your favorite game day meal or snack?
well, I guess on days I'm pitching something kind of light. I don't like to be too full on the mound. Maybe a shake, like a protein shake or a salad before I go out. If I'm not pitching, I don't know, probably I'd say like spaghetti, wings, or something like that.
Okay. How about your favorite takeout?
Favorite takeout. Really, really enjoy Raising Cane's.
You're not the first one to say that.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't go there. I don't eat out often, but when I do, it's either Cane's or In-N-Out. One of those two. Yeah.
If I let my daughter eat Cane's every day of the week, she would. So she loves it
Yeah.
too.
I mean, I'm addicted to that sauce.
Oh yeah, it's good.
It is.
What's your favorite music genre and your favorite group or solo artist?
I love music. I have a very broad taste in music. I'll listen to anything. I think my probably staying up with the times, I'd say probably hip hop and rap is what I probably listen to the most. Favorite artist, really, really enjoy Mac Miller. I don't know what it was. He just kind of brings back memories. I listened to him through high school. Kid Cudi, Cleveland native, like him. Probably those two, but very broad taste in music, rock, whatever, jazz. Just depends on the mood, really.
Right. I get it. How about your favorite movie of all time?
Shawshank Redemption would be number one.
Good choice. I actually just went a couple years ago to the Mansfield prison here where they filmed part of the movie. So I got to see all that. So that was cool.
Yeah, that's a very well put together movie. Great storyline. Definitely the top one.
That's cool. Who was your favorite pro athlete growing up in any sport?
Kobe Bryant would be, just because of his work ethic. Watching him play, definitely Kobe. Second behind him would be Clayton Kershaw. Grew up loving the Dodgers. Watching Clayton Kershaw pitch was just always memorable and special to me.
Two great choices for sure.
Mm-hmm.
How about your biggest fear or phobia?
I don't like spiders. Probably spiders. Maybe heights, honestly. Kind of on the border of that, where it's like I would go skydiving, but I think I'd be, a little scared and probably would chicken out at the last second.
Yeah, heights is definitely mine for sure.
Yeah.
How about your biggest celebrity crush?
Oh, man, I don't know. My wife's in the other room. She might get mad at me.
Right. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Probably Probably Jennifer Aniston.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one for sure. That seems to never age.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you want to tell the fans about what to expect from Thomas Ponticelli in 2022?
You can expect me to compete every chance I get, every opportunity, just to show up every day, give my best. Hopefully, win more championships down the line, but just give my best. Interact with fans. I love fans. I think they're the heart and soul of any great team. So just seeing their support, and I know I love giving back to them. So just giving them my all with any opportunity.
All right, cool. Well, hopefully we see you starting at Columbus this year and maybe, like you said, up in Cleveland at some point. But if you happen to start out in Akron, I'll come out and see a pitch because you owe me one.
Yeah, absolutely. Just if that's where I'm at, or wherever you're going to be, just text me, and if I'm pitching, I'll do my best for you.
All right, I appreciate that.
All right, of course.
All right, thank you for coming on, and best of luck this season. And I'd love to have you on again sometime if you're up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate your time, and thanks for having me on.
Not a problem. All right, you have a good
All right,
night.
Kev.
All right,
Thanks.
everybody out there, have a good night, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.